please do feel free to submit any questions you have or anything you'd like us to dive deeper on. Please do jump in and let us know. Also, one of the first questions we always get is, will the slides be shared and will the recording of this webinar be shared? And the answer to both of those is yes. We are recording this session, and we'll make that recording available, and we will also make the slides available following this webinar for all of those who registered. So with that, why don't we go ahead and jump in with the session. Tim, as I mentioned, is CEO and co-founder of an innovative company called Kokoon, who is really focused on helping people improve their sleep with wearable and hearable devices, along with a solution set around that takes in the data from those devices and applies that to helping people improve their sleep. That's a very high level description of it. Tim will certainly describe that much more eloquently and in more detail as we go along. So Tim, I will go ahead and hand over to you, and you can go ahead and share your screen.
I think it says screen sharing disabled for me at the moment.
Let's do that.
Great. Hopefully everyone can see that. Is that?
There we go. Yep.
Brilliant. Well, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us on this presentation. So I thought I'd start with probably the road to Kokoon, because it's been a long and interesting one, and then just talk you through our proposition, kind of what we believe, what we're about, and then kind of dig into kind of where we are today and our technology platform. So yeah, basically Kokoon came about as a result of a personal problem for me. So in my I'm originally a mechanical engineer, spent time developing medical products, but for my sins, I decided to do a stint kind of working in the city. So kind of really busy, intense environments where I was working extremely late, working all hours. Wasn't the most fun time of my life, particularly because I developed a bit of insomnia. So my challenge was I'd be kind of working very late, and I'd just find it really difficult to switch off. I'd be thinking about all the stuff I'd forgotten to do, all the stuff I needed to do, and this developed into quite an issue for me personally. So I was kind of regularly kind of not getting very much sleep at all. Did kind of what everyone does in my generation, turn to Google, tried everything I could find on there, and then wasn't really helping. So tried medication, again not really helping, and after quite a while of suffering, I managed to get referred into a sleep clinic, and I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the NHS, which is the UK's free healthcare system, but they don't like to spend money, so if they can try and avoid it in somehow or hope the problem goes away, that they'll try that. But I managed to get seen in a sleep clinic, which was absolutely fantastic for me. It really kind of changed my life in more ways than one, and really fixed the issue. But it was incredibly inconvenient. So I had a very high pressure, stress job, yet I had to travel the other side of London once a week to go to the clinic, and yeah, it was incredibly inconvenient for me, but it was also fantastically beneficial. So I learned a huge amount about sleep, really resolved my kind of underlying issues, and came out of it with the impression that it'd been incredibly beneficial. The science, the elements that I'd learned, but it'd been incredibly difficult to access all of this great insight, this great science. And yet, at its core, it didn't strike me as particularly, it wasn't rocket science. Let's put it that way. There was a lot of kind of just kind of good logical kind of principles and good things to learn. So really, the kind of genesis behind Cocoon was my experience when I went back into my office. I was suddenly the sleep oracle, helping all of these very stressed management consultants trying to deal with their own issues. And I realized that the current state of play is that only really the tip of the iceberg gets served here. I think something in the UK, it's something like about a 1 or 2% of people end up going into a sleep clinic, yet nearly 50% of the population have some issues with sleep. I really kind of realized that there was a lot of people out there struggling with sleep, and there was a real opportunity to use the advances in technology to make an impact. And one of the things that I knew just from my experience was that had I known some of the things that I learned much earlier on, it wouldn't have got as severe as it got. I really kind of the kind of genesis behind Cocoon was how can we help people just get more from their sleep, you know, take more control of their sleep, and also help themselves on their own terms in a convenient fashion that sits within their own lifestyles, so that we can stop so many people kind of going down that route of worse sleep. So that's really kind of what we're about at Cocoon is taking the kind of established science and making it more convenient, more enjoyable, more engaging for consumers to use on their own terms. And that's really kind of been our mission from day one. We've had so sorry, just skip my slides moving forward. So we founded the company back in 2013. And we've been working with a number of sleep clinics here in the UK, including Europe's largest. And really kind of what we're doing is making sleep science more consumer friendly, more consumer focused. So rather than focusing on the kind of chronic strugglers with insomnia, we're going after the wider population who maybe have more intermittent issues, but still have issues that they can that resonate with them. We've got over 30,000 people using our platform at the moment, and kind of we're actively discussing with them all the time. And I'm sure this is kind of old news to most of the people on this call, but sleep and mental health, particularly in our kind of more isolated COVID scenarios where we're all kind of expected to work at strange hours, have disrupted schedules. Sleep and mental health is a growing but quite hidden crisis that I think we're going to be paying for in the years to come. So really, at Cocoon, that's our challenge. That's what we're trying to address is helping better sleep and mental health. And what we're doing, our kind of brief, is that we're making sleep science more human and more accessible. So what we set out to do is, rather than have the clinicians dictate everything, which I think in health happens a lot, we really have been working a lot with our users to really understand how we integrate the kind of sleep science into their everyday lives. So with sleep science, it can be quite prescriptive, but obviously there's a conversational element, and there's a feedback element where it's essentially the clinicians helping that individual by learning about them, what their issues are, and suggesting interventions to help them work through that. And what we're looking to do with Cocoon is take a much kind of lighter, more longer term, more kind of enjoyment and experience focused approach to this, where we essentially deliver kind of from the off. We try and fit ourselves around everyday habits that a lot of people have. So we've done a huge amount of user research. We've spoken to about 3,500 of our customers, interviewed nearly 400 of them to really understand kind of what their underlying issues are, and how they're managing it, how they're coping to date. And we found that a lot of people already have kind of quite strong habits and likes and desires around the way they sleep that aren't necessarily bad, but can be kind of improved and enhanced. So rather than kind of change too many habits, which I think is a common mistake that often gets made, we kind of gradually help people kind of come on a journey of improvement. So we help people do the activities they already do to help themselves switch off. So it could be listen to an audio book or podcast, or something more sleep focused, such as a relaxation technique. And then we enhance that experience, making it more immersive and helping that experience adapt to them. So for example, if you're listening to an audiobook, we bookmark at the point where the individual's fallen asleep. We do our best estimate of that, and then we have a few algorithms on top of that to enhance that. And then we help that audio fade out, and then we'll bring in white noise to really mask out any disturbances. And then we do a few kind of smart things with that white noise to really optimize it. So that's the kind of initial element, really kind of helping fit into their habits day to day. And then we'll try and kind of add to those habits. So we'll add little insights, little bits of coaching around that, and give them a place. So one of the kind of insights that we had from our customers is that they really like to find something that is their special place, that is their kind of safe space. And this we call is where we enable people to create their cocoon. So we've innovated in audio to create much more immersive soundscapes, really designed to kind of accentuate the experience of entering this audio cocoon. And we're working extensively with kind of various composers, various soundscape creators to create really unique experiences that people want to return to and become that kind of go-to safe cocoon where they can come in and relax. And the third element of what we do is kind of, rather than forcing coaching on people, we take a more reactive approach to our coaching. So we essentially deliver CBT-I, and we do that on a very kind of individualized basis. So each user will get nudges, insights, and kind of audio coaching, which is specific to them and their challenge. So we're keeping an eye on how they're sleeping, what their sleep schedules are looking like, what their sleep habits are looking like. We're quizzing them about that. We're asking them questions. We're diving into what the issues are, and then we're slowly over time, in kind of small bite-sized chunks, really helping them on a journey of improvement. And we've seen that be incredibly effective for our customers. And we're doing some kind of clinical studies next year, really to demonstrate the tremendous impacts that we're able to see. So yeah,
if I could interrupt with a couple questions. So you mentioned sort of sleep in the user base you guys have already built up. I'm curious, have you seen any changes in sleep over the course of this pandemic environment? And if so, what do those look like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think there's been a lot of great studies on this. We've I think in the UK there's been about a 20% increase in incidence in. There was a recent study done by King's, and they showed about 20% increase um, in kind of incidence of disturbed sleep. I think the just from our discussions with our customers about what are the things that are worrying them, I think the kind of sense of isolation and anxiety. People don't have that place where they can go and talk with other people so much anymore. They feel much more isolated with their own issues at home, and really kind of they're struggling for an outlet to kind of just talk with other humans. So that sense of isolation, we're noticing it even with people with families and with kind of larger households. And we're also seeing that sleep schedules are getting very disrupted. I think work brought a lot of people stability in the way that they were, needed to get into the office for this time, etc. And for a lot of people, that's kind of gone out of the window because so many people are working from home. And we're seeing just a lot more kind of variability in sleep schedules, which is in turn creating issues. I've often kind of seen that having kind of disrupted sleep schedules can be one of the kind of first signs that things are going on a downward trajectory, and we've definitely kind of seen that more and more with the pandemic. And then I guess just worries and stress. There's a lot of people struggling for livelihoods, a lot of people having difficult kind of relationships, and yeah, we've certainly seen that in our discussions with our customers. So we have a community where we have a lot of our kind of most passionate customers, and they're all popping on there, sharing their challenges and ideas and what we could do to help. So yeah, we see a lot of that coming through at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, and one other question in this immerse and protect step or stage, and you may get to this in more detail later. So, if so, but I'm just curious around the 4D soundscapes. Can you say a little bit more about that and how you guys define that and what that means?
Yeah, so this is binaural sounds, where essentially your mind is a finely tuned machine, and it's able to detect spatially where sounds are coming from. And this is particularly for in-ear products. That's where it's particularly effective. And we've really kind of dug into this technology and created our own 4D soundstage. And the idea with this soundstage is to really give that added immersion. It's a real experience when people put it on and go into this 4D soundstage, because there's another dimension there, because they can spatially experience a lot more and kind of immerse themselves in the scene that we're creating. Yeah, that's really the kind of basis of the 4D soundscapes, is to create a, a, a place that is brought to life as much as possible for that individual.
Got it. Okay. So that's it for now. Carry on.
Great. So we've got a broad team, and one of the key things with ours is really balance with the team. We don't let one field, be it engineering or kind of clinical research or therapy or design, dominate. This is a kind of collaboration with the customer, and we have two metrics for what we do, which are kind of driving outcomes. So we want to see improvements in kind of sleep efficiency, insomnia severity, and we also want to drive engagements. We want to really embed ourselves as a kind of daily routine, a daily habit, because that's when we work the best, and that's when we can really build a relationship with our customers that transcends any technology, or whatever, and really enables us to you know build a dialogue with those customers that is more akin to a kind of human than a technology. And that's kind of been our approach at Cocoon, is that we generally we like data. We think data is great, but data by itself, it's much more powerful when it's translated into outcomes, and we see that as the real hard bit in the kind of coming ages. Is I think generation one was kind of the Fitbit kind of style of tracking, but we've seen that can have quite a lot of negative impacts. Data, if it's not presented with context and relevance, and understanding, can actually be very harmful. So we've seen a lot of kind of thought and focus within our product has been really how you translate data into outcomes, rather than, oh gee, I've had a bad night's sleep and doesn't it look dreadful? Really that's not helping anyone. In fact, it's generally making the problem worse. So really moving beyond kind of data and translating that into the outcomes and the experience is what we're really focused on at Cocoon. Our mission is to build a platform that isn't just embedded in our own products, but we want to partner with kind of other companies to really increase the reach of the impacts that we can have on people's lives, because we see the real essence of what we do is in that translation of insight into the outcome, and that's really where we're focused with our kind of technology and development. So yeah, that's kind of a kind of broad overview of Cocoon and what we're up to. And yeah, it wouldn't be a kind of introduction without some kind of plug. So if you'd like to learn more about kind of the tech that we've got going and see how we kind of tie it all together, we've done a little video on Kickstarter right now for the launch of our product. It's going fantastically well. We've seen, I think we've seen about 3,000 new customers in the past 6 days. So it's been really great to see that. But yeah, kind of do go in and check it out on that front. Yeah, so that's kind of my rambling tour through Cocoon. So yeah, really kind of over to any questions, etc.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. And thanks for that, Tim. I appreciate that. There have been a few questions that have come in, and for everyone else, if you have questions or would like to dive deeper on any of these topics, just submit those through the Q&A section of the Zoom interface. But first question is which biometrics can your device measure?
So I think we've got. So we use a Valencell solution. The metrics that are particularly of interest for us are heart rate variability, and motion and signal quality. They're the kind of core ones that we kind of use for our product at the moment.
And without giving away any secret sauce, you're using those primarily to do sleep quality and sleep staging analysis. Is that
Yes.
a fair statement?
So probably our gold metric is sleep efficiency. So how long it takes someone to get to sleep. That's our kind of most important one, where we put a lot of effort into really getting that accurate. And then we built algorithms on top of that to do various other kind of smart things. And then just kind of sleep staging. We obviously like to stage the sleep and see how they're doing and when they're waking, all of that stuff as well.
Got it. And then of course that feeds into the app and the coaching and improvement experience. Is that?
Yeah, exactly. So that's combined with kind of more question-based insights. So we don't just rely on biometric data. We also collect data in quite a lot of other different ways. You know, we've thought very carefully about how we maximize the data at the different points in that customer's kind of journey. And really, this is all about kind of finding the insights that can drive the right kind of pathways. So yeah, it's a combination of bio data and kind of a bit of an ongoing discussion with the customer.
Got it. Okay. Another question around the biometrics with regards to biometric measuring, excuse me, does the device store the data on the headphone in real time, or does it get sent to another device, i.e. the phone?
Yeah, so that we have a bit of edge processing, but the majority all happens in the phone. So yeah, I actually think that we don't have any edge. Actually, sorry, that was wrong. I'll probably get murdered by my CTO for saying that. But basically, the data gets sent via Bluetooth to the phone, and that's where the kind of heavy lifting all happens.
Got it. Okay. Next question is around the clear calls feature. May you tell us more about the clear calls feature?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've always believed is that we don't want to just be a sleep product, a product that is purely one purpose. We want to integrate into everyday products, so that that there's value, even if that they're using it out on the road and on a long trip. So we've basically integrated kind of the features that you'd expect in a kind of high-end headphone. So we have kind of balanced armature drivers doing a great kind of audio signal, so you can listen to all your regular tunes, and then we have calls and all of that kind of good stuff. So really, our ambition is really to fit into people's lives as easily as possible. So hence that's there. I mean, just as an insight, these are actually awesome running headphones. I use them for running. Just they're so stable. It wasn't why we designed them, but they're great for that as well. But our kind of primary focus is really on that kind of relaxation and sleep.
Got it. Very good to know. Let's see. Next question is, and just I'll provide a little bit of background on this one for those of you who may not be familiar with Kokoon and their product line. They had their first product was an over-the-ear headphone solution, and so this question is related to that. And can you explain the reason for the change in product form factor from an over-the-ear headphone to an in-ear solution?
Yeah, so back when we started Cocoon, it just wasn't possible to do what we've done now. There was a lot of technology to kind of integrate. So in-ear has always been on our radar and always been something that we wanted to do. But really, kind of getting that form factor really right has been a technology challenge. I think we're using the very latest Valen cell sensors, which are absolutely tiny, and the kind of advances in Bluetooth, etc. But really, kind of our kind of big innovations have been around kind of ergonomics with this product, particularly for the side sleepers, where there's a lot of pressure on the side and a lot of movement in the bed as well. So just ensuring that they're incredibly kind of discreet. The pressure is on the cartilage much more than the bud. I think we've got some of the world's thinnest headphones here in terms of thickness, so that they're only 5.4 millimeters thick. So that's absolutely tiny, and that enables we've we find that people don't really notice them in the ears. What's important is that they choose the right ear tip. We do find that that makes a big difference, but we've got some cool solutions in the works on that front as well. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question. I'm not sure I quite got it.
Yeah, no, that addressed it. And there is a follow-up question along those same lines, but question around how does the PPG-based earbud compare with the headphone approach? And correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but the headphone had EEG sensors in them.
Yeah.
And then, so what made you make that transition from EEG to PPG?
Yeah, so frankly speaking, EEG is a bit of a flaky technology, and it can certainly add accuracy, but it's quite a noisy, unreliable signal. So we're still working on EEG with partners, but really kind of we actually found that what was most important to consumers was really having kind of consistent and reliable kind of reads. That they're not particularly that worried about kind of accuracy levels. There's no need for kind of clinical grades as long as you can kind of derive the right insights, the right trends. So really with this product, with the old product, we managed to test out. So our old product also does heart rate variability. So we managed to kind of develop algorithms around that and kind of understand how they perform and what insights we could extract from them. And yeah, so that was why we kind of integrated that into this product. And we are not kind of not doing EEG, but it's for this particular product we really kind of focused on keeping that form factor as optimal as possible for comfort, which tends to be people's biggest challenge with products for sleep.
Yeah, certainly. Question around the data: Can raw data be downloaded? I'm guessing this is the biometric data, but more generally, question around data download.
So you can download sleep reports. So basically you can, but it's after we've kind of worked our magic on it, if that makes sense. So we want to kind of do the kind of lifting on the insights and that good stuff first, and then you can kind of download your sleep reports, your sleep data, etc., and integrate with kind of health platforms, all of that good stuff. But we don't give access to the kind of raw form at this moment. Kind of if there was lots of requests for it, we'd probably do it, but not at this moment.
Got it. Next question is: Was the device regarding generation of sleep data tested conforming to the CTA standards? CTA has for those of you who may not be aware, has some standards, documentation, and protocols around the performance criteria for sleep technology. So Tim, have you guys used any of those protocols?
Yeah, so we're doing this kind of basically so right now this product is kind of still going through kind of manufacturing ramp up, so we're kind of waiting until we've got the final version, and then we're doing validation on the accuracy side as well. So right now, no, but it's in plan.
Yeah, that makes sense. Next question. You touched on this briefly earlier, but the question is: Have they tested earbuds during exercise, and will they be adding fitness metrics into the app, or can it connect to other apps, I guess other more fitness oriented apps?
Yeah, so in terms of testing, it's not something that we've tested. I've obviously used it lots for running and going to the gym, but this has not been our focus with the product. It has the potential to do that and could certainly do that, but we've not focused on it. It's just happenstance that it happens to work nicely for that scenario, and kind of our focus is very much kind of on expanding the use cases which are closest to kind of what we do with the coaching specifically.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Along those lines, there's a tangential question around can I use any audio I want or only certain apps and services? I guess that's a question for both the sleep scenario as well as non scenarios.
Yeah, so this was something that our kind of users were really passionate about, and yeah, so you can use any audio. You can listen to your Spotify, you can listen to your Audible, or you can listen to kind of the sounds of the whale. And we also enhance that audio. So we're working with these third parties on kind of bespoke integrations. And we're also able to kind of enhance that in the experience itself. So, you can listen to your third party audio within our kind of within your Kokoon. So inside your immersive Kokoon as well, to kind of bring it to life even more. So yeah, the short answer is yes, and it's getting increasingly kind of more dynamic, those integrations.
Got it. And so does that mean that none of the audio is stored on the device? Or I guess this is a question, follow-up question is any audio stored on the device, or is that streamed from the mobile device?
Yeah, it's all streamed from the mobile device. So the mobile device has, it has our library, and it integrates with lots of other libraries.
Gotcha. Okay. Roadmap question. So I know you're just getting the Nightbuds launched now, but someone's curious if you have any plans for a true wireless sleep device, meaning just the buds themselves without any wires connecting the two buds.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good question. I mean, we looked a lot at true wireless, and there's some great products out there that are true wireless. I know, I think Bose has got a great product, and ZenBuds, great product there. I think that the challenge from our perspective is just the battery is just until they kind of can reduce the size of the battery, we don't kind of believe so much in true wireless as a means to do what we do. That's our current thinking is just really kind of the constraints of having the battery, because there's quite a lot of power required. So yeah, it's not on our roadmap at this moment. We're constantly looking at it. We'd love to have batteries that could enable it, but right now we're not kind of there that it's possible.
Gotcha. Okay. Another roadmap question, but this one more on the biometrics. Any plans for adding blood oxygenation or pulse oximetry, or a value in this? CPAP use in the US is increasing a lot. Any thoughts on oxygen in general are welcome.
Yeah, so this is very interesting to us, and I know Valencell made some advances in this area. So essentially, we're kind of tracking what Valencell have been up to in that, and it's definitely of interest to us, and something that we'd be quite keen to kind of see how we can help with that particular challenge, because we know that a lot of our kind of customers do struggle with it. So yeah, it's something that we're looking at for sure.
Yeah, and certainly the blood oxygenation provides some insights into sleep issues like apnea and other breathing issues during sleep like that. So certainly a valuable additional metric there. Next question is, we already covered that one on the audio. looks like we've already covered the one around immersive 4D audio. Next question then is around the safety concern. Oh, any safety concerns with masking critical noises during sleep, for example, a fire alarm or intruder or other noises along those lines?
Yeah, this is one that we've done some testing on and spoken with quite a lot of users about. There is obviously kind of the kind of a bit like with earplugs. You're kind of blocking out kind of disturbances, and while that's a positive for 99.99% of occasions, there may be a case where you need to. We've generally found that when we've tested with fire alarms, etc., that that does come through kind of fine. And we are looking at kind of home integrations as well. But yeah, it's kind of something that we make the customers aware of, and just to be kind of careful and sensible. Yeah.
Yeah, and to that end, the buds are not doing active noise cancellation. They're just the noise masking is just the occlusion of the ear canal. Is that accurate?
So there's noise isolation, which is kind of a bit like kind of putting earplugs in, and then there's noise masking, which is essentially basically playing white noise when the individual's asleep, and that's really the key one for blocking out disturbances. That does a very good job of blocking out noises. So yeah, they're the kind of two techs in it at the moment. So there's no ANC in this device.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. And then one other question here, and if anyone else has questions, please do submit those through the Q&A interface. The question is around, do you use microphones for sleep data recording, i.e. snoring and other sleep disturbance noises?
Yeah. So we do.
You are doing that.
Yeah. So we look at kind of noise levels through the night.
Got it. Okay. And does that feed into your sleep coaching, or is that?
At the moment, not so much. We're more looking for things that disturbs the sleep and kind of created issues, but it's something that we are looking at, and actually looking at some kind of partner solutions that do some very interesting things with it.
Yeah, very cool. Okay. Well, it looks like that's the end of the questions that have been submitted so far. Sorry, one more just came in. Let's see. If snoring is detected, how is it separated from sleep apnea, which is a medical condition?
Yeah. So at the moment, we don't. We're not flagging that at this point. It's something that we're keen to look into, and we are kind of working on solutions for that challenge, but it's not something that we've kind of gotten to a level of confidence that we're happy with at the moment.
Got it. All right, very good. Now we have officially reached the last of the questions that have been submitted, and I think I've asked all of my questions that I had that you didn't already cover. Tim, just wanted to say thanks for taking time out of your really busy schedule right now to join us here today. This was a really interesting conversation, and really love what you guys are doing in this space. It's exciting. And for those of you who haven't seen the Kickstarter, go check that out. Really incredible traction on that Kickstarter just in the last, 6 days now, Tim?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you for that. And thank you everyone who was able to attend today for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. We will, as I mentioned, send around the links to the recording of the webinar as well as to the slides. So please feel free to share those with anyone that you think might be interested or wasn't able to make it here live today. So with that, I think we will go ahead and wrap up and say thanks again, everyone, and have a great day.
Thanks a lot. Nice to chat to everyone.
Excellent. Thanks, Tim.